Hello. My recording tonight is about Dr. Susan Schneider. I selected Dr. Schneider to do my report on, and she has become a very important figure in applied behavior analysis. Um, so, for Dr. Schneider, kind of the core of what she does is she applies behaviorism to the problems of society. She's currently a scientist at Root Solutions, which is an international group that tries to find real life solutions to humankind's largest, most important problems. Among these are environmental stability and kind of trying to beat the clock that we've set ourselves um, environmentally. She has a background in engineering, but because of the letter that she wrote to B.F. Skinner in high school, she became very interested in applied behavior analysis. She had a book report she had to do, and she picked one of B.F. Skinner's books. And after reading it, she became very intrigued by the science of behaviorism and decided to write him a letter. That letter started a correspondence that lasted the rest of B.F. Skinner's life and helped guide her in the work that she does. She developed an interest in environmental sustainability while she volunteered in college. And she decided to apply behaviorism to the problem of environmental sustainability, as well as the issues of genetics and other areas. She is also an author and has written several books, as well as published research. The most popular book she has right now is The Science of Consequences, which helps apply the science of behaviorism to genetics, and in doing so actually pairs the validity of genetics with behaviorism, which is still acquiring its validity as a science. So she uses behaviorism in many aspects of her work and her daily applications. Her research includes the areas of genetics, sustainability, developmental psychobiology, and choice. And really, a lot of her work right now, especially with sustainability, have to do with how do we help frame choice for people? How do we help people make better choices, especially when it comes to important topics like the environment and sustainability? Two of the books that I have listed here are The Science of Consequences, How They Affect Genes, Change the Brain, and Impact Our World, and also The Language of Thought, A New Philosophical Direction. So, behaviorism, one of the key issues we have that we have to overcome, as anyone in the course knows, is mentalistic thought, which kind of invades and permeates every aspect of society as far as speaking about what we do and understanding what we do. The words that we use are mentalistic and can create problems for ourselves. So, how do we root that out? The main thing I took away from all the reading that I've done researching Dr. Schneider, and I actually ordered one of her books, The Science of Consequences, because I was very intrigued with the idea of using behaviorism to apply it to anything, especially other sciences, which I think is fascinating. The main thought I took away was a question of, can the science of behaviorism solve the problems created by humanity? Is it possible to use consequence to shape human behavior en masse? So instead of just looking at, how do we help shape the behavior of a child on the spectrum, or how do we help someone make better choices, a recovering gambler, things like that. It becomes, how can we help shape human behavior with consequences and change the way we think, the way we problem solve, the way we approach things, which she is doing very much so with the issue of environmental sustainability and trying to help us tackle the ticking clock we have for extinction, basically, for ourselves and the world. So, how can we take on such a big issue, and how can we solve it? And the answer seems to be behaviorism may be the key that we need to change the way that we think, the way that we behave, and therefore the consequences for those choices and behaviors. Here's a list of references that I have. Some of these are the articles. There's 3 articles that I chose. The bigger picture, development, genes, evolution, and behavior analysis. It's kind of a breakdown. It's like a smaller version of her book that she wrote. Common goals of the science and practice of behavior analysis. Response to Critchfield. Once again, her take on how we can shape our goals and what we should be looking for as someone that applies behaviorism to not just how to apply it to others, but how to hold ourselves accountable. Language of thought, a new philosophical direction. That is a kind of looking at how we speak and how that affects behaviorism and everything else we do. The Science of Consequences. This is kind of her more popular book right now. How they affect genes, change the brain, impact our world. So it's kind of the, is it nature, is it nurture? No, it's both. And how that really plays out. And the last thing that I looked at was The Tangled Tale of Genes and Environment. Moore's Development, or The Dependent Gene, the fallacy of nature versus nurture. So going into, again, how it is actually both and not just one or the other. I hope that my slideshow on Dr. Schneider has encouraged you to learn more about how behaviorism can be used to solve small problems and also the very big and real problems that we face, and how it can be used in other parts of science.